Yeah, absolutely. You can go through life trying your very best to avoid difficult situations, or you can get very good at handling difficult situations, because it's often at the end of the difficulty or on the other side of the unfortunate circumstance that huge opportunity awaits. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about chaos. We're going to talk about how you should prepare for it. And I think it was Bruce Lee who said, was it Bruce Lee? I'm not sure. Probably not. I don't know why I'm attributing this to Bruce Lee. Do not hope for an easy life. Instead, hope to be strong enough to deal with a hard life. And that's absolutely true. If it's easy, it has no value. I said this to Adrian Ross before when he was talking about a six-pack. I said if it was easy to have a six-pack, nobody would respect a six-pack. So you sitting here asking me the easiest way to get one, in and of itself is a logic fail. It's supposed to be difficult. If you want to have a life that is worth living, it has to be a difficult life. There is no light without dark. And I want to say something. Tristan made a really good point there about how it's been an exciting year for us. Not necessarily a fun year, not necessarily an easy year, but certainly exciting, because there's been a huge element of danger, and there's been a huge element of risk, and a huge element of punishment. And if you're truly hoping for an exceptional life, that means both sides of the spectrum. I want to make this clear to people at home. Do not be the kind of person who says, I want an exceptional life. I want to drive on Bugattis. I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a bunch of beautiful women. I want to have a bunch of kids. I want to have a mansion. I want to fly on private jets. I want an exceptional life with all the positives, but then be afraid of the negatives that come with exceptionality, because there's no light without dark. If you want an exceptional life, you also have to be prepared for Romanian jail. You have to be prepared to be destroyed for no reason by the Matrix. You have to be prepared for both sides of the coin. And the only way to avoid both sides of the coin is to stay in the middle and wait for your certain destruction. So if you want an exceptional life, that comes with good and bad. And the people who are hyper competitive, hyper effective, those are people who are good at doing both. We are very good at doing the bad. And also, Tristan, I will say, we're pretty good at doing the good.
There we are.
We're pretty good on our private jets with all our women. We're pretty good at it.
We're maybe the best in the world.
We might be the best at doing it.
Some of the best there's ever been in recent times. And in fact, this takes me to a Napoleon Bonaparte quote. Everyone knows how much I hate the movie. That I tweeted just 3 hours ago. Just 3 hours ago. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. Right. So yes, we're at the very top. Then we're in Romanian jail. Why are we in Romanian jail? We flew too high. We came to the attention of too many important people. We said the things that people don't like. People tried to take us down. People threw us in jail. Fine. The glory of 2022 was certainly fleeting this year when I was sitting there with the cockroaches. But obscurity is forever. Being a nobody, nobody knowing who you are, nobody knowing what your name is, that is forever. And not just in your lifetime, into eternity. There are some people watching this. I like to think that every fan of mine is a top G and is going to make it in life. But there are some people who will hear this message, and in 50 years' time, if they pass away, nobody will know who they are. Whereas I'm going to have my army of 20 children. I'm going to leave a lasting legacy. We are going to be known as some of the first internet pioneers. People who took this wonderful tool called the internet that allowed total worldwide communication and used it to spread a message of love, a message of strength, a message of excellence to the entire world. And we have shaped, I believe, in part, the next generation of young men to come, the future police officers, the future traffic wardens, the future politicians. There will be a president, whoever you are, in 2060 something, who's going to be moral and just and God-fearing, and he right now is a teenager watching the Andrew and Tristan Tate podcast. So I feel like our impact on the world has been overwhelmingly positive, and I'm proud of us.
Yeah, our names have been etched into eternity. That is for sure. And I think that one of the worst things a man could ever be punished with, or one of the worst possible existences as a man, is invisibility. And we can talk about this because the majority of men are invisible. And when I say invisible, I truly mean that. I want you to understand that when a beautiful woman walks into Starbucks and you serve her her coffee, you're not human to her. You're not a man to her. She doesn't care about your struggle. She doesn't care about your mental health. She doesn't care what happens to you. She has no interest in you. You're basically invisible to her. You could sit here and say, hey, my name's this, and my hobbies are this, and I want to do this. She has no interest because you're not high value. The majority of men out here live invisible lives. They're hard lives. You work very hard. You build the roads. You're tired. You're struggling, but you're invisible. And I think that's one of the worst punishments a man can be bestowed with, is invisibility for his entire human existence. What you want to do is to matter. You want people to respect you. You don't want to be a number. You want to be a name. You want people to know who you are. And to do that, you must do excellent things, which means you must live an extraordinary life, which means you're going to have the extraordinarily good and the extraordinarily bad. And you need to be a man and not be a coward and not be afraid and stand up and say, I'm ready for the good if it comes with the bad, because then I'm not invisible anymore. You have to fight against this matrix. The matrix in and of itself is trying to make, especially men, the majority of them, invisible tax slaves. They want you to sit there, be invisible, not matter, not have an opinion. And we're out here to try and show you that there is another way. And yes, bad comes with the good. There's no light without dark, but God is the best of planners. And every single time he puts you through something difficult, if your mind is prepared, if you are ready to learn lessons and adapt, you're going to become a more formidable competitor. And that's extremely important.